Okay, so we are at Strengthscope Training here in San Diego, and I'm here with Josh, and Josh is the co-CEO of, how do you say it, Forte? Be Forte?
And Strengthscope
And
US.
Strengthscope US. So Josh introduced me to this concept about 4 years ago, and I've pretty much been on fire about it ever since, and now we're excited to actually have a chance to work with you guys and bring this stuff to our customers. So Josh, give us just a 30-second overview about what Strengthscope is and how we help companies with it.
Right. So Strengthscope is a strengths assessment. It's the most comprehensive strengths assessment in the world. It's got a whole product suite, standard reports, 360s, team, leader, engagement index, so a whole scope of products, if you will. And the primary differentiator, I'd say, between this and other assessments, and there's many, what Strengthscope measures is whether you feel strong and energized at work or not, and what are the things that work that make you feel strong and energized. So it's not strengths in terms of competency, which is how most strengths assessments approach it.
Right.
But this is more about what makes you energized and able to sustain peak performance.
Got it. So that's one of the things that I really got over this training and learning about this a little bit deeper is there's competencies and then there's strengths. Right?
Yes.
And then where they overlap, that's where we get peak performance. Where, like, let's just say as a salesperson, maybe you're really good at prospecting and I'm not afraid to cold call, but I may be really terrible on the follow-up. Right? That's a pretty common thing, or vice versa.
Sure.
And there's, so those are competencies, right? That doesn't have anything to do with what my strengths are. But so often our training programs are geared to fix the person who's not good at prospecting or not good at follow-up or not good at time management or what have you, right?
Yeah.
So this helps us to really understand why.
Yes, I agree. And I think we need to develop our skills, right? There are certain skills that we need to do whatever our role is to do. The question is, what's the best way to do that? And so is the best way to learn a skill through something that sucks the energy out of us? Probably not. That's a pretty terrible strategy.
Right,
Instead, if we approach skill building through a lens of strengths in terms of what makes you feel strong and energized, you get exponential performance improvements.
Yeah.
Because people are actually energized by what they're doing.
Exactly.
Right? So they learn those skills faster, they do them better, and they do them more sustainably in the long run.
Yeah. So share with us, to highlight that, share with us that story from Nebraska back in the 50s and give us just, that's as visceral as it can get, I think.
Sure, yeah. So there's this great research study done a number of years ago in the 1950s in Nebraska. And the state had charged a group of researchers with studying and impacting the reading speed of students. And so they gave the students a baseline test, and they found that all students read at slightly different speeds. That wasn't surprising. You've got the below average readers and the above average readers in terms of speed and comprehension.
Yes.
The below average readers start at 90 words per minute. The above average readers start at 350. So 90, 350. So they take them through a speed reading course, and they come back and retest them. What happens? This group that starts at 90, they go to 150. All right, that's great. And so the question then is, what happens to this group that starts at 350? And so we ask this hundreds of times, and invariably they always say,
The assumption is it stay the same or maybe get worse.
exactly. And counterintuitively, this group starts at 350 and they go to 2,900. So it blows everybody's mind. And even the researchers, they went back and retested the students, found so this was accurate. And so we've got this incredible kind of case study that's been around for a really long time that shows us very clearly the return on investment of focusing on weaknesses, our 90s.
Exactly.
We can make them a little better. We don't even get to where these people start. Right?
Yeah, right.
They went to 150. These people started at 350 with all this practice. Right? And these folks get exponentially better, not marginally better, but a multiplier effect happens when we focus in on areas of strengths and performance. And it happens in every area we study.
Absolutely. No, that's it. That to me was the most vivid picture of why this works. Because if we're going to work with a person, a team, a company, and help them get better, why not focus on what works? What's that Pareto's principle, the 20% that gets you to 80%, as opposed to try to focus on what's wrong with us and feel not as good about it. So.
Exactly. Yeah. It's really so many things in our organizations are focused on those deficiencies. We're so obsessed with the gaps, and it just doesn't get us very much in the end. We don't get the kind of performance we want, and we wonder why not. Well, we're just not focusing in on these areas of strength and energy.
Absolutely. All right, so there's another great assessment out there called StrengthsFinder through Gallup.
Yeah.
We're in Omaha, just up the street from Gallup's headquarters. So just give us a little bit of a differentiator between those two. So they're both great assessments, and this certainly has some differentiating qualities.
Absolutely, yeah. We love StrengthsFinder. I think that's the first thing. Is we started there. I started there. I think it's a great assessment. I think this just takes it to the next level. Because most of StrengthsFinder, the language in there has to do with talent, and they talk, and even the names of the strengths, they'll talk all through their literature, but those are talent themes. So they're very clear that those aren't strengths, they're potential strengths.
Sure.
And they're talents that you have a natural affinity for, and you can develop into a strength. But when they say strength, they still kind of mean competency. And so it's more about ability, and it's based on natural talent, which is also a powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
We find this angle of energizers is just powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's visceral. People feel it immediately.
Yes.
You know when you're energized and when you're not.
Right.
And so we like this approach because it helps already busy executives that don't have time to do anything, busy professionals, busy managers, everyone's busy. Well, no one has time to do anything else.
Absolutely.
Right? So we want to bring this in and help them go fast.
Right.
And so the energy idea resonates with people immediately. It's visceral, they feel it, and so we can just get them up and running in their strengths a lot faster.
Beautiful. One of the things I'm most excited about with this is, our mission as a company is to take people from surviving to thriving, and organizations from surviving to thriving in any behavior.
Yeah.
And so, and so as we do that now, we've always been big on helping them discover, where am I surviving? We've been big on helping them figure out what is the effort I need to put in order to, live a thriving lifestyle. But this gives us a whole new way because it'll help us focus people in on what are the areas that energize them naturally to make that effort that much easier.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what's the right effort? Not just the work, not just the competency I need to develop, but what's the lens that I get to look at it through? What's the way that I get to go about doing it? And I think it's going to skyrocket the results with our program, which has already been great, but this is going to be even better. So,
No doubt.
Josh, what you guys have done for us here has been phenomenal. Thank you for this. Thanks for doing this little interview so we can share this with the folks that are looking at MJST and wondering, okay, how does this all match up with what we're doing?
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be phenomenal. So thank you.
I'm excited to see you guys do.
You bet, man.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Awesome. Very good.
Excellent.